Come on. Hello everyone, I hope you are doing well. Recently, many of you have been asking for analyses on Solana, so that's what we're going to do today. We're going to look at quite a bit of data together, and of course, we're going to examine the chart in detail. With all of this, we're going to try to evaluate a little bit what we can expect for this bull run. And it's true that even though it's not a crypto I have in my wallet, Solana remains a truly essential crypto. So if you are in the same situation as me, even if you don't have any in your wallet, I really encourage you to closely follow Solana. So starting with the chart, without going over the entire history of Solana, you probably already know. Just to remind you, it was one of the best performers in the previous bull run. And then behind that, Solana experienced one of the biggest corrections during the bear market, with nearly one. At the end of December 2020, we had a bottom around that time. So at that moment, it was still difficult to imagine a comeback for Solana. And finally, somewhat against all expectations, we have Solana that has started to rise again and has currently reached a high point around $210 in 2024. So really an enormous performance from Solana, a huge comeback. And if I show you the data on the blockchain, well, today Solana is the third blockchain with the highest TVL. So just to remind you, that's the total value locked across all protocols on Solana. So what is even more impressive is that if we rank by volume, today Solana is the #1 blockchain, just ahead of Ethereum. It is almost on par with a 24-hour volume of $1.3 billion. Moreover, most of the meme coins that have performed well this year come from the Solana blockchain. So there you have it, there is a good ecosystem, there is a strong community, and all of this creates a good momentum, which is certainly beneficial for the Solana token. So it's true that since the peak in March, which was around 210, Solana has corrected a bit and is now around. So first, if we apply a Fibonacci retracement on the last bullish wave since September 2023, well, for now, the correction remains quite weak since at the price level we are roughly at the 0.304202 Fibonacci level. So Solana has really been solid compared to many cryptos that have corrected significantly. So at the same time, what's also not bad is that with the correction in early August, the price has dropped to about. Who came to check on the 50-week moving average? This 50 moving average, as you know, I talk about it regularly. When you have a crypto that is on a nice upward trend like this, if it's a crypto that interests you in the long term, then normally it's an almost mandatory buy at these levels. So the pullback in early August around 110 should normally constitute a bottom. And so that means that for now, as long as Solana stays above $110, it can normally indicate quite a few positive things for the future. And then if I show you at the same time on Ichimoku, well, what's interesting here too, and we have the cloud that was coming in, and you know about Ichimoku, well, as long as we are above the cloud, it means we are in bullish momentum. So here we see that Solana has indeed stayed well above the cloud, with really strong support over the last few weeks. So here it is. It's true that for now, even if we say that the momentum since March shows Solana is experiencing a good lateral movement, graphically, it still looks very positive, since we can see that all the major supports continue to hold. And as I mentioned, this could suggest a lot of great things for the future. So what I wanted to show you is that if we go down to the daily chart, well, once again, we have confirmation that the low point around $110 in early August was very likely a bottom. Since in addition to everything we've seen before, we have a daily RSI that was close to 30, which was almost in the oversold zone. So really, if Solana is a cryptocurrency that interests you, I hope you didn't miss this pullback in early August. And what we can see on Solana is that it is compressing well. And as I tell you every time, it's not to the millimeter. So we can consider that around mid to late July, there was an attempt at a breakout to the upside. And so here we can clearly see a significant compression. In terms of price, there is less and less volatility, which means that we should expect a strong movement on Solana soon. And if we look at the Bollinger Bands, there are two interesting elements. The first thing is that we can see the bands are tightening. So we have confirmation that a movement is about to happen on Solana. And at the same time, what is really positive is that the lower bound is clearly rising and is now very close to the price level. This shows that around the current prices, we have quite a bit of strong support. So in terms of targets, if we have a breakout to the upside of this triangle, there you go. If we take, for example, the second point of contact, look, it's really well defined because it means that if we have a bullish breakout happening during this month of October, and now I will switch back to the weekly view to make it clearer, there you go. Well, the breakout target, as you can see, is very clearly defined, and it will be to retest the level around $250. So this return to $250 will be the first major target for Solana. And what I wanted to show you at the same time is that be careful for those who have targets that are way too high. It is important to consider that for Solana, since 2021, there has been a significant dilution of tokens. And so even though currently in terms of price, Solana is still below its all-time high. In terms of market cap, there has been such a significant token dilution that we are already almost at the levels of 2021. Just to remind you, in 2021, for a Solana that was around $250, we had a market cap of $60 billion. So now, for a Solana at $143, well, the market cap is already $67 billion. So to set targets for the bull run, I will give you several methods. After that, it's up to you to pick from them and see what seems most coherent to you. And so, on the side of the Fibonacci 5, during the last bull run, we had the ATH that corresponded to 1,618 Fibonacci 1000. So naturally, the next target will be the 610.8 Fibonacci level. And that sets a target at $1,800. So you can tell me what you think, but personally, I find that way too high. And so if we look at what it gives us on the side of the Fibonacci levels in relation to this last bullish wave, well, we will already have an intermediate level that will be quite interesting. So that gives us 1610.8 of Fibonacci around $460, $10 for the 2610.8. And well, look, it is already plotted, and 2021, and it almost corresponds to the level we just set around $1,700 to $1,800. So if you prefer to use classic Fibonacci extensions, and this is really what I recommend to have intermediate levels, then we will set a first level that will be one of Fibo around this, which still allows us to maintain a margin compared to the level below. Next, the level we have drawn around, well, it corresponds roughly to the 16,108 of Fibonacci. So here you can, for example, aim for a zone between $450 and $460 after a level that is generally Y. Here it is coherent. It could be about reaching 1, 2, 6, 10 or 8 of Fibonacci. So that gives you a level around. So there you go. Personally, I remain quite measured about the performance that Solana can achieve from now on, even though of course I hope it reaches or exceeds that. But it is true that today it is already an asset, as we have seen, that has capitalized well. And what I also wanted to show you, which can also help in setting goals, is the aspect of Solana's dominance. Since today, Solana's dominance is already higher than it was in 2021. So at the same time, what we can see is that in 2024, we had a peak dominance point around that. So this also gives you a bit of an idea of the levels at which we can consider that Solana is entering overbought territory. And so to return to the goals for Solana, well, to return to the all-time high, as we saw, that would be roughly. This would mean at that point about $120 billion in market cap. Next, for the second target, around 320.5, that's roughly X compared to now. So in terms of market cap, that would mean approximately $150 billion. Next, for the level above, for the range between $450 and $460, $10, that represents about X compared to now, which would give approximately $210 to $215 billion in market cap. And finally, for the last goal, at least the one that I consider to be the last potential objective. Of course, as I said, if you are invested in Solana, I hope it goes much higher. So if we have a Solana that reaches around that, well, that would be about a 4.5 times increase from now. This would put Solana around $300 billion in market cap. So there you have it, friends. That's it for this technical analysis video on Solana. I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to like it, comment on it, and subscribe to follow more.